We're wrapping up our third day of, we are wrapping up our third day of review. We did animations and we did gestures. What was the big hiccup we got with gestures? Anybody remember? The lazy var, right? So remember that lazy var. You do that. You don't do that lazy var. You try to add yourself. You try to add a target to a nil object. It works, no crashes, but you won't get your gesture being recognized, right? Or your action being called, because you add your function to a nil object. Lastly, we'll go ahead and we'll do search, because right now our app in its current state does not search in our current state here. Our app does not search. Does my keyboard even come up? My keyboard comes up, but it doesn't search for anything. So we'll implement search, and then we'll overview the app, and we'll have any questions, if we have any questions. So let's go ahead and implement search. Where's our search bar, or where's our search? We go to the news feed, right? The news feed is where our controller lives. The news feed is our first tab. Our news feed view has the search bar. Do we agree? Okay, so in our news feed, view did load method, let's set up our search bar. So set up search bar. So newsfeed view dot search bar dot delegate equal to self. Okay, that's good. So here we said we want to listen to changes on our search bar. So now we need to conform to it. What's that, Luba? I'm listening to you. We don't have fetch stories, no. Okay, cool. I'm telling you, Luba, chaos. She loves that. Okay, go to the very bottom and let's add our extension on our newsfeed controller. And what are we doing here? UI search bar delegate. And UI search bar delegate, what method are we implementing here? We don't want to keep querying the, basically what we want to search, we want to search the articles in our feed. So as I brought up my app here, I'm looking at magazine news. I want to search for, I want to search within the magazine news articles, okay? You were saying, Cassandra? Should return, right? Very good. So search bar should return. No, search bar button pressed, sorry. Search button clicked. A mouth of words there. So you want to get access to search button clicked. Okay? Search button clicked. As we did before, please let's test it out first to see if it actually prints anything. Let's just print out search bar, search. Where's my search text? Very weird. Dot text. Run this. Okay. All right. We run it. We bring up our keyboard. We type stuff in. We click on the search button. And we do get optional goof. Right? Right? So verify that you do have text appearing in your in your console here. Right? Everybody? Yes? Do we get print statements in our console? Ian? Make sure you set a delegate in your video load. You guys have a comedy station right there. All right, cool. Everybody confirm they have their search text appearing, yes? Mel does not.
Is it possible to do it in the search? Isn't it necessary if we do it in the search the change? Well, not necessary.
You could do it there actually because it doesn't query the API.
Yeah, and it doesn't come in option.
Yes, you could do it there. Good point. So Tiffany wants to make, Tiffany wants us to use text did change. Is that what it is?
I didn't want us to.
No, that's good.
Why?
As you type in, it changes. And it doesn't query the API per se. So text did change. Text did,
The third one.
where am I here? Right, so go ahead and print search text. So you didn't need that review, madam.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Questions answered before I could even.
Okay, so we upgraded from search bar button pressed to search text or to did change text, right? So as I type, it changes here, right? Everybody? Yes? Cool? Okay, next step. Get rid of the keyboard. Oh, that too. We'll get there, but we'll get rid of the keyboard. But first, let's implement search text is not an optional. Very good. And I want to filter. Let's do a guard here. So guard, let search, or just text, equal to search text, empty, else. If it's empty, we want to reload all the data. So else here, return.
Wait, you're making.
If it's empty, if empty, well, not empty. If it's empty, basically we want to reload the collection view, right? So if text is empty, reload all the articles. This is not needed here. That was your question? Ask a question. It's not optional. It's not needed. Not even needed. It's not going to work. Okay? So first we check to see if it's not empty. If it's not empty, go ahead and execute whatever. If it is empty, we want to reload our articles. So saved articles, we could just call fetch again. Fetch stories. Other than that, we're going to perform some filter. So here, filter articles based on search text. We have a did set on our articles. Okay. So here we could do saved articles. This is not saved articles. Articles. News articles equal to news articles dot filter. And what are we filtering by? We're filtering by title. Whoa, 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 whoa. I know we're family, but. All right, let me get some more space here. So we want to filter title lowercase equal to search text dot lowercase, well, not equal, this is wrong, contains search text dot lowercase. If we say equal, it will look for exact matches. Everybody? Right? If we say equal, it will look for exact matches. And that's not what you want. You want, is this contain some string? Okay, cool. So we reload our news articles, it reloads, and then we have our filtered results. If it's empty, we reload everything. Let's see what we have so far. Oh, and Mel, you were saying to dismiss the keyboard? All right, let's dismiss. Dismiss. Let's see, we cannot dismiss the keyboard here. They could type. That's fine. Let them type. We'll do something else with the keyboard. So run it. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, that thing, yeah, exactly. So let's type in artist, right? So it looks like we have two artist articles here. We go back, remove stuff, doesn't reload. Did it get here? Let's verify here. So AR, go back. It reloaded my stories. It got here. Let's jump to it. It got here. It queried my API. It should have come here. It doesn't come here because what's the query? Let's see. It's empty. Never got here. Breakpoints, right? Who's solving it?
No, I was gonna say maybe for the fetch story, because you're saying that if it's empty, then fetch story, what do you have stories function to see what?
Fetch stories, it's empty here. It calls fetch stories, right? Fetch stories calls, let's see where we are. Fetch stories gets into here. When we have an empty string, we want it to reload, right? When we have an empty string, what's happening here? What's happening here? Do we have an else block here that's not getting executed? Okay, this is good. Here, articles got saved. I put in articles here, so artist, right? We were able to get results from artist, great. We backspace onto an empty state. It gets to fetch stories, gets here, gets in our else block because here section name is equal. It's equal, and we're not calling the API. Everybody sees that? No? So here, section name is not equal to section name here. There's no difference between the user defaults, but there's nothing saying go ahead and reload my query. I'll refactor this and upload it. But for now, in the else statement, put this here. We really need to refactor this. Put an else statement right after your if section name not equal to. Really need to refactor this. All right, no breakpoints. Remove breakpoints here. And let's search. So lives or mark, for example, MARC, shows up. If I backspace here, right, I should have all my results back, okay? If I search again for fashion, for example, fashion, a lot of fashion articles here, but now I want to dismiss the keyboard. The way I want to dismiss the keyboard is when I scroll, I want to dismiss the keyboard. We did an else and we put the API call back in there. So right here, yeah, we have two else's here. You got it? Cool. Okay, great. Next step, as I scroll, I want to dismiss the keyboard. How can we do that? In my delegate for my collection view, right here, navigate over where it says did select item at. That's a good place to put the function that I'm talking about. Right after my function close, I'll put in, actually, I can't put it there. I need to make a separate. Would it actually work here? It might actually work without. Okay, so implement scroll view did scroll. Scroll view did scroll works on everything that inherits from UI scroll view. Collection view, table view, picker view, whatever it is. We already conforming to delegate object. The delegate object has a scroll view did scroll property on it or function on it. So as my scroll happens, I basically want to resign the search bar. So newsfeed view. What are we going to say? We'll say if newsfeed, bless you, if newsfeed dot search bar dot is first responder. If it is the first responder, go ahead and dismiss that. Newsfeed search. I'm right below the did select in the delegate there. So search bar resign first responder. Where am I? I'm right below the did select item add. Yes, sir. Oh, I thought I saw a hand. I want to make sure this gets called here, and we don't have to put it in a separate extension. So put a breakpoint in our scroll view did scroll. Put a breakpoint in our scroll view did scroll. Let me go back to it, sorry. Scroll view did scroll here. And let us bring up our search bar. As I'm scrolling, it does get called. Awesome. And here, it will dismiss the keyboard. Great. So let's try to search for something. Search for artist again. So artist. I scrolled accidentally. Artist. Did it just, oh, it scrolled automatically. So artist here, I have my artist. As I scroll, well, there's nothing to scroll. Go back here. As I scroll, it will dismiss the keyboard.
How come when we go backwards, if we type in something and we take off the letter, like how you know how it would it's not repopulated. Like once you start,
Brand.
if you start to delete, then it just.
I have brand, I delete. It goes back to the original. Yes, I mean, scroll view did scroll. Let's talk about it. Go ahead. It's a protocol method on any item that inherits from scroll view. It has an option to use this method. So basically, all the scroll protocols, any object that inherits from scroll view and that has a delegate. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah. I'm sorry? It dismisses the keyboard, yes. When you start scrolling, yes. Because that method gets called. If it is the first responder, it will resign it. Yes?
No, yeah, now I wasn't wrong. When we start typing, it'll take it, but if you delete what you put, it doesn't like re-update it with the.
If you delete it.
Like let's say I put in CV, right? And there's nothing that has
CV in there?
Right. If I delete the V, there should be something with the C, but there's no one.
So CV.
Yeah, like it doesn't go.
There's nothing there.
No, I mean if you delete it. Like it's legally.
You gotta delete everything because that one item doesn't reload our collection view. Right? So delete everything and then you could start again. Cool? No?
Yeah, I'm just thinking how to make it so when you delete it. I feel like we did that before. We deleted it. I feel like we did that in our top stories or not when we did top.
I mean, it queries every time here. So CV, for example, if you have CV here, right? You remove C. The array has information already, and it's still using that same array to query. So you could just like get a new array, for example, and always query that new array. Okay? Okay, at this point, let's quickly see what we did. We finished search. Yes, Eric? Say that again. This guy? This one? Maybe in the first case of the app, loading, yes. Where there's no user defaults. Eric? Where there's no user defaults, it will get called there. Does that make sense? And then it will get called with our default technology. If that's what we have as a default. Cool?
Okay, so because we didn't have that extra if statement, else statement is.
It wasn't because, remember, we put that.
Once it's equal, like.
Exactly.
But we didn't put for it to read.
Exactly. We stopped shy of that before lunch there. Okay, bigger picture looking there. Bigger picture looking. Is there anything on that list we want to go over? We did empty states, right? We know how to handle empty states. And empty states is great, right? Especially when you have, where am I? This is empty states. To go back over it, this is an empty state. There's no data. Give the user some information. We could also have an empty state on the news feed. If there's no internet, for example, instead of showing like an alert, you could show an empty state, right? Cannot process your articles right now. Everybody with me? That same empty state we wrote, you could use it for any app that you do. You could always customize it, add more things to it. You could even add a picture to it, where the user is adding some image. Everybody with me? Right? You could make it like your own. But going forward, please have an empty state for your app.
Can I clarify? So did we connect this empty state? How do we let it show exactly what's on the state?
We added the empty state here, and saved articles here in the collection view did set here. Julia, in the saved articles view controller. Saved articles view controller, right? We added the empty state here. So if, where are we? We said if it's empty, if the articles count is 0, go ahead and add the empty state to the background view of the collection view, right? If it's not, then set it to nil. Remove it. Cool? Yes? Okay, awesome. Any questions? Julia was asking to go over the empty state again and how it works. We created the empty view class, right? With a label, with two labels, a title and a message, correct? And the way we instantiate it with the empty view here. Empty view has a title and a message. You could go further. You could add a button. You could add things. You could make the thing really cool. You could add an image view.
So like, how was it that we did it before? Because we did it on the podcast where like, was it the podcast or it was like when you did a search and if there was no search, then like on the view it showed. But this was on the table. It showed a message.
Yeah. You could do that. But you could do that. That was a lab, I think.
No, it was a recent.
We did it together here in class?
I think both. I think we did it kind of in there. I don't remember.
I think that was a lab, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway. Yeah, but this is one of the ways to do it on the background view. Table view has it, collection view has it. Cool? And yes, you could customize it, make it look awesome. You could even give the thing a color. Again, this is where we headed with initializers in post Unit 4 stuff. Create some initializer and pass it, example, a book, or in our example, an article, right? Not doing them individually. That's not the way to go. Collection views. We're good with collection views? Mm-hmm. Actually, let me uncheck everything and then we'll check everything as we go. Are we good with collection views? We've done 2 programmatically. And we did 2 different cells, especially for that. We're good with collection views. Any questions about collection views? We know how to set them up programmatically. We know how to set the sizes. We know how to make them vertically scrolled or horizontally scrolled, right? We know how to put background shadows on them and make them animate with a shadow and a gradient. You should see your face. Guys, we have Google, by the way. If there's something in the exam, which, right, there's Google. You enter the thing, add gradient on cell.
For
No, this one is all programmatic. Right? Because we rockstar programmatic. You guys singing the songs to me while I'm doing constraints. Top anchor, da, 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 right? All right. Exactly. Yeah, Mel, go ahead. Any reason why a long press gesture wouldn't work? Ours worked, right? Like correctly, right? Like we had it working earlier. Here. Click on this guy. Save that guy. Oh, by the way, one other thing we did not do that you're responsible for. When I click on this bookmark, either you change it to fill bookmark or you show me an alert saying I saved the thing. Yes? Yes? No.
Yes.
You guys know that. Come on.
Yes.
Right? The user at this point doesn't know if they're saved or not. Everybody agree? Right? Okay, good. So showing alerts is something we know from Unit 1. No, 2. Right? So when I click on a bookmark, either you change in the bookmark to fill bookmark, which we have the function for, by the way, which I pointed the function to us, by the way. The function is there. Here, this guy. Data persistence, has item been saved? Yes or no?
True.
And one other thing you need to do on your type is, look at that, the code is there too. For news stories, example, I would take that and put it in my, but to keep it simple, just show an alert. Everybody agree? We good? But if you want to be fancy, look at this. All right, you could be fancy here, and you could make the bookmark from empty to fill by using has item been removed. Right? And then on the has item been removed, you could simply say, yeah, that returns a bool. Right? The thing is there. It's there. It's good.
You could, right, this says let at the same equals this that so.
What?
No, I'm saying that. So
No, that makes it unique. Right now, our object is not exactly unique, so that would make it unique as unique goes. I'm saying that makes my object unique. That's how to verify the.
I was talking about the has item.
Oh, this guy here?
Yeah, I was going to say that the item has been saved would be the true or the false.
Yeah.
So you would make that equal to that, and then you would call it if it's like you would say, then you say if item has been saved, whatever for the item, then okay, do the rest of the logic after.
Exactly. So it would be something like this. I'll give us a hint at what I'm talking about here. Run this app somewhere. Open Sesame. I got New York Top Stories and I got New York Top Stories Advanced. What's this guy doing? Here, if I run this app, well, not 4. Detail view, saved articles, maybe. You know me, I cannot stop not coding. Okay, so I have this app here. If I click on this, it does its animation, right? Great. If I go in there, I save the thing. You see the bookmark? If I remove it here and I go back, should it be there? No, it's gone. I'm using the has items here. So if I go to has item, here, this is the code. That's all the code you need. Look at that. That's it. All right? And you just change the bookmark.
That's just to fill it, but then in case that they.
I mean, when you click on it, the action would remove it, right? On your did press item. On your did press item here. So did. Save article press, right? Here. There's some more code here.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, but it's handy. It's there. It does the job for you. Go. It's there. It's there. Very handy. But make sure that your model has some way of identifying itself as being unique here. Top stories, stories, right here. Assures uniqueness.
You set this up to.
Yeah, it's on here. It's right here. Cool? Okay, next step. We kind of losing track here. This is if you want to be fancy. But for simplicity, what do we add in? Alert controller. That's it, okay? So collection view is good. Custom programmatic collection view cell. Any questions about that? Zips are not allowed? No, not for that case. Cool? If it is, then that's fair game because we've done it before, right? But we're aiming to have everything programmatic. Cells, very similar to a view. I set up my cell with a view. I have my frame. I have my constraints and everything else.
Are we going to be using the sort of package manager stuff?
Yes. Use Swift Package Manager, import everything. We're not writing Network Helper. We're not writing data persistence from scratch. Everybody? We have enough code to write. Right? We imported, we still spent 3 days writing code. Right? Does that answer your question, Ahad?
Yeah.
All right. So again, all the documents are updated as far as like the Swift package managers go, especially data persistence. If you want to do anything deeper with data persistence, just take a look at this document here. Let me share it out so we all have it. And it's tested. There's unit tests there. If you see anything that's wrong, let me know. I'll keep testing and putting stuff there. I saw a different hand. Okay, so we go to collection view cells, right? User defaults, one line of code, right? User defaults, one line of code in, one line of code out. Search, we just did search. Subclass in UI tab bar controller. We did that from Thursday, and we injected everything we needed, or everything that needed stuff, we injected them, right? So we did that for Scheduler app, we did that for Top Stories app as well. Any questions about UI tab bar controller? Or do you want to take a look at it? Okay, we're good here. No questions? Good. File manager documents directory. We import data persistence. That's it. Okay? We import data persistence and we're done. We're good. We're good. We're done. Empty states, we did today. We know that we add in empty states where we have emptiness happening and how to do it. Custom delegation. We've done it many times. Any questions about custom delegations? On the object, we had 3 steps, right? We created a protocol, we set up the weak delegate, and we added that delegate object method, whatever, where you want to listen or communicate out, right? Programmatic UI, we did the thing from ground up. Everything was done programmatically. Again, if I'm pushing a view controller, what does that view controller need to be embedded in? A navigation controller. And we want to make sure either we do it in the scene delegate or we do it in the tab controller subclass, yes? Embed our view controller in there. Animations, we know how to do animations, right? Scale, transform, moving things, transitioning things. Yes, yes. For example, if you want a scale animation, we'll tell you perform a scale animation in this view, vice versa. And if there's any ambiguity there, we're around for that, but not how to do it, right?
No, yeah, I just,
Very good.
because if you leave it up to me, I'll have to start.
You could do whatever you want minus that. Like MVP, get MVP done, and then you could make the whole assessment animate. So that, you know. Oh, you don't like animations. Okay, for the record, Amini does not like animations. We know gestures. How many gestures do we have in iOS?
4.
6. Stay close to Tiffany. 6 gestures. Right? But keep in mind that to keep everything fair here, we did long press a lot and we did tap a lot, so expect those two at least, one of the other. Unit test. Are we adding unit test or are we not adding unit test?
We're adding unit test.
We added unit test. Very good. Such a great crowd.
Movement is not feeling.
All right, any other questions? Open floor. Okay, I'll stop the video here.